My brother didn't ask me to leave the house. He decided I had until Sunday. Just like that. No discussion, no warning. Then he threw my medical textbooks into a puddle on the driveway, one by one, like they meant nothing. My mother stood there, recording it, laughing, posting it like it was entertainment. She said something I still remember word for word. This is what happens when you don't contribute to the family. I was still in my scrubs, still smelling like the hospital after a 26-hour shift. I didn't say anything. Not then. I just looked at the wet pages and got in my car. My name is Maya Collins. I'm 29, and in my family, I'm basically background noise. The quiet one, the boring one, the one who never made it. They say that because I don't post online. I don't flex anything. I still drive the same Honda I had in college. What they don't know is simple. I'm a chief surgical resident at Boston General. 80-hour weeks, trauma rotations, real responsibility, not influencer fantasy. Meanwhile, my brother Liam is 25, calls himself a content creator. No audience, no income, but a $60,000 truck my mother co-signed because he needs to believe in himself. We live in my father's old house in Vermont, or what's left of it. The place should have collapsed years ago, but it didn't, because I kept it alive. I paid the bills, I covered the gaps, I fixed the messes, and I never said a word. 4 years ago, the house had a tax lien, $42,000. Nobody said a word. I found out when the town almost seized the property. My mother panicked, my brother shrugged, so I paid it. All of it. From my first hospital bonus. Money I should have used for myself. Rent, savings, anything. I set up an LLC through my accountant. No family name, no attention. Just clean automatic payments running in the background. Quarter after quarter, year after year. Taxes, back debts, utilities, insurance gaps. Every hole they created, I filled it. They thought the house was surviving on luck or on my father's memory, but it was running on me. My hours, my shifts, my exhaustion. And I never said a thing. Not because I wanted to be a hero, but because I thought it was temporary. A patch, a fix. But it became permanent. A system they relied on without knowing it existed. A system I built. And a system I could shut down whenever I wanted. It started last Tuesday. Liam said he needed a gaming studio for his brand, and he picked my room like it was obvious. The room I studied in for years. The room I basically lived in during med school. My mother agreed instantly. No hesitation, no conversation, just of course. She walked into my room while I was asleep after a 24-hour shift, stood over me, and said, "Liam's career is more important right now." I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I didn't have the energy. The next morning, they started moving my things, like it was already decided, like I didn't exist. That's when I finally said something. This house is not financially what you think it is. They laughed, both of them, like I told a joke. My mother said, "Maya, your father left us this house. You're just living here." And that was the moment everything clicked. Not anger. Something colder. Something final. 2 days later, they changed the locks on my room while I was at the hospital, like it was nothing. Then they sent me a photo. Studio setup started, with a smiley face, like this was a joke. I looked at that message for a long time. Not angry, just done. That kind of done where you don't argue anymore. You just flip the switch. So I called my accountant. One sentence. Stop all municipal payments. No explanation, no story, no drama. He said, "Understood." And that was it. The LLC dissolved in 36 hours. The payments stopped. The system I built went dark. They didn't know it existed, so they didn't know it could disappear. They thought they were kicking me out of a room. They were actually kicking out the only thing keeping the house alive. I didn't warn them. I didn't hint anything. I just let the numbers do what numbers do when nobody pays them. I didn't tell them. I went to work, like nothing happened. But at noon, the calls started. First Liam, then my mother, then the town office. The taxes hit the system hard. Default notices, lien reinstatement, foreclosure warning. All at once. Because the house wasn't stable. It was being held up by me, and only me, for 4 years straight. My mother called crying, not apologizing, just panicking, asking where is the lawyer. I said there isn't one. She didn't understand. She kept asking what I meant, like the answer wasn't obvious. So I told her the truth. There was just me. And that was the moment everything flipped. The moment they realized the house wasn't theirs because of inheritance. It was theirs because I kept paying for it. And now I wasn't. After that, everything turned procedural. No drama, just paperwork moving faster than they ever did. My attorney looked at the situation once and called it exactly what it was, a civil recovery case. We pulled every document, every payment, every transfer, every tax record. 4 years of proof that I kept the house alive while they played pretend. The numbers stacked up fast, cleaner than I expected, uglier than they ever imagined. The total liability hit $194,000, penalties included, interest included, every dollar traceable back to me. No mystery, no confusion, no loopholes, just math they never bothered to understand. My attorney asked if I wanted to pursue damages. I didn't. I just wanted the truth on paper, something they couldn't laugh at, something they couldn't twist. For the first time, the house wasn't a memory, or a symbol, or a guilt trip. It was a ledger, and the ledger had my name all over it. They thought I was just living there. But legally, financially, structurally, I was the only reason the place still existed. And now the system they ignored was finally visible, and it wasn't on their side. I didn't want destruction. I didn't want revenge. I wanted distance. Real distance. The kind you don't explain. The kind you just take. So I structured everything cleanly. No emotions, no speeches, just numbers doing what numbers do. $100,000 went back into the property to stabilize it. $47,000 went into my housing fund. $47,000 into education. Not as a gift, not as forgiveness, just closure. The kind you buy when apologies never show up. When I told my brother, he didn't say anything for a long time. He just stared at the paperwork like it was written in another language. Then he finally asked, "So you just stopped?" And I said, "No. I stopped carrying things I was never asked to hold." He didn't answer, because there was nothing left to say. The system was gone, and I wasn't part of their story anymore. They moved into a smaller apartment. The gaming studio never happened. The dream ended the second the bill showed up. My old room is empty now. Just walls, just space. Nothing left to fight over. My mother called once, left a 4-minute voicemail, said sorry twice, but never asked what I needed, never asked why I left, never asked who kept the house alive. It was the kind of apology you send when you want the problem to disappear, not when you want to understand it. I didn't call back. I didn't explain. I didn't reopen a door I finally closed. I bought a small place near the hospital. Nothing fancy, nothing dramatic, just mine. No history attached, no weight, no unpaid debts hiding under the floorboards. For the first time, I'm not holding up something that was already broken. I'm not the foundation for people who never noticed the ground cracking. I stopped paying for their stability and started paying for my own. And honestly, it feels like the first real decision I've made in years.